Next in Adobe After Effects, next class is about 3D camera. Okay, so let us understand what is 3D camera. So in Adobe After Effects, a 3D camera is a virtual camera layer that allows you to view and animate your composition from different angles and depths, right? So this is 3D camera. Here we have XYZ axis. So creating realistic parallax and depth for 2D, 2.5D projects, much like a real camera moves through a scene. It controls perspective, focus and movement for layers set as 3D layers, enabling effects like zooming through elements, orbiting points of interest, and adding depth of field, blur. Key functions and concepts. So 3D layers. For a layer to interact with the 3D camera, you must enable its 3D layer, switch in the timeline. So first we have to enable that one. There is an option at timeline, right? We have to switch. So placing it in 3-dimensional space, XYZ axis, because it is a 3D. Camera movement. You animate the camera's position as well as rotation and point of interest. POI is a point of interest. To create dynamic shots, mimicking pans, dollies and orbits. Parallax effect. By placing layers at different jet depths, jet space, closer objects move faster than further ones as the camera moves, creating a sense of realism. Depth of field, DOP. You can adjust aperture and focus distance to blur foreground or background elements, simulating real camera focus. Here we have camera types. Here we have two camera types, one node and two node, one node versus two node. So one node, simpler for realistic movements, moves with its POE, point of view, point of interest. Two node, more common, has a specific point of interest in orbits, great for complex arcs or orbits around a focal point. So 3D camera tracker. It's an effect that analyzing video footage to exert its original camera movement, allowing to accurately place 3D elements into 2D video, right? Again, the same type of cameras again. Here already I explained about this one. The two type of cameras, one node camera and two node camera. It is acts like a handheld camera. Suppose you are holding the camera, it moves and rotates based on its own position and orientation. Suppose when you are moving with camera, that also can move, okay, along with you. The two node camera includes a point of interest. The camera always stays aimed at this specific point, which is useful for orbiting around objects. Suppose you are rotating your head, but you are not moving on that place, you are only rotating your head, okay, you are covering the whole area, and you can rotate your eyes without moving your head or body. Suppose you are rotating your eyes left to right and right to left, okay, that is a point of interest. The common workflows. Here we have null object parenting. Professional editors often parent a camera to a 3D null object. This allows you to control complex camera moves like pans and rotations by animating the null instead of the camera itself, providing smoother and more predictable control. So 3D camera tracker. This built-in effect analyzes flat video footage to reverse engineer the original camera's movement. It allows you to place 3D text or objects into 2D video so they appear perfectly locked to the scene. The another one is the active camera view. The active camera is the topmost camera layer in your timeline. This is the perspective that After Effects will use when you finally render your project. How it is used? Adding depth to 2D scenes. Suppose you are working, when you are working with only 2D scenes, there you can add this. So creating pop-up books or layered animations where elements move in 3D space. Motion graphics, zooming through text, shapes and images. VFX composition, otherwise compositing, integrating CGI elements seamlessly with live action footage by matching the original camera's movement. Mostly we use in the VFX compositing, right? So here where we use the CGI elements seamlessly with the live action footage by matching the original camera movements, right? So this is a simple information, theoretical information about a 3D camera in After Effects. Okay, let us check practical. So open your After Effects. So first create the composition, new composition. So I'm using the same default composition, 1920 by 1080. So say OK, and here this is my new composition, right? So here you can create a solid layer. The solid layer also I'm taking the same. Suppose click here. So for time being, lock this one. This is my as solid layer, right? Okay. So over on that, I'm creating one object. Okay. So this is my object. So you can place this the point, reference point to center. So I'm using Control Alt and Home button. Then again I'm using ellipse tool. I'm creating the ellipse. Control Alt and Home button. And I want to change this color to something like yellow. Okay. Now here what you have to do, first change your layers to 3D layers, right? So 3D layer allows this layer to be manipulated in 3 dimension, right? So click on this. So create this to 3D layers. Yeah, this is suppose background. Okay, after that you can right click here and new, and there is a camera. Okay, this is your camera actually. First you have to understand the camera settings. So see this type, the camera type is here. We have 2 type of cameras are there, 1 node camera and 2 node camera. Okay, so 1 node camera, suppose along with your camera, suppose you are holding a camera and you can moving along with the camera, so it rotates. Okay, and here it is the 2 node camera. Suppose you are holding the camera, suppose your eyes or your camera, suppose without rotating your body or without rotating your head. Suppose when you move your eyes only from left side to right side and right side to left side, so your body, your head fixed one place, but even you are turning left to right, top to bottom in a circular way. Okay, so that means what? Your camera is not moving itself, but your eyes moving left to right and right to left. Okay, the same way the 2 node camera can work. Okay, and here suppose let us use one node camera. So one node camera, and here we have some options are there. So this is your the film size. Okay, this is your film size, and the custom, and suppose there is a 15 mm and 20 millimeters. Okay, these options you can change the units to even pixels or inches also. Okay, but in default it is showing in millimeters. Keep this as easily. And suppose this is your angle of view. So this is the angle. Okay, and here it is enable depth field. So this is the depth field, and focal distance, this is the focus distance, right? You can even change this also. Okay, you can change this, and this is the aperture speed, and this is f-stop and the blur level, and here it is the focal length. Even you can change these settings. And suppose you can change this to 35 mm, okay, whatever the size you want. So for timing I am not changing anything, so I'll keep this with the 35 mm, right? So save. Okay. Okay, in the right side, suppose see in the properties, the camera options are displaying. Okay, in the new version Adobe After Effects, the properties right side, the camera options are displaying. Even here also in the timeline we have the camera settings are there, the transform camera options and that. Okay, in the same way here right side also it is showing. The both sides you can utilize. Okay, and here if you observe here there is a draft, the 3D draft is there. You can on and off this draft. Okay, when you on this, here it is showing the 3D ground plane, and here we have the sizes here. Okay, you can increase and decrease this size. And here we have classic 3D. In default it is showing, and we have advanced 3D and cinema 4D. I'll explain about all these things because it depends on purely your RAM and this graphic card performance. And here we have active camera. These are the active camera. Camera 1 default, front, left, top, back, right. These are the positions, right? And here if you see this, here we have a view 1. The default it is showing. Okay, click this into 2. Now see, 2 views are showing. Okay, so this is what one node camera. So because it is one node it has, right? So if you move this, see, if you understand here, there are 3 colors are there, red, green and blue. Okay, so red is here, it is horizontal, x-axis it is showing, and itself it is the green is showing, height, and the blue itself it is showing what? The depth, Z. Even see, if you rotate this one, the camera, see, you are holding a camera. With camera you are moving left to right and right to left. Okay, so this is what the one node camera, and you can move this side along with your camera. You are moving to right side, the same way you are moving to left side. Okay, now suppose control Z, coming to the normal position, and here I am changing to camera, and this time I am using 2 node camera. Okay, let us say okay. Now see, The same way here, you are moving with camera. The same way here, we have another node. See, actually your position was fixed here, okay? You are not moving actually, but your camera, your eyes, you are twisting right side and left side without changing your place, okay? The same way here, we have the x, the width and the green, okay, the height, and this is your depth. So basically these are the 1 and 2 node cameras.